Okay, here's our math riddle week 5. We took a little break over the holidays, so we gave you quite a bit of time to look over this. Now, this is essentially like a glorified Sudoku. What it is the numbers in each row and each column have to number 1 through 6 would be written before, and these are a greater than and less than sign. So, I'm going to switch over to the answer page now. So if you haven't done this and you want to try it now, pause the video. So here are our answers. This is my answer sheet here. And I numbered them in what order I made each move. Now everyone probably made a move a little differently, but this is essentially your answer sheet if you want to check it off. I'm going to walk us through the Sudoku, which can be very tedious. So if you don't want to see that process, essentially there's your answers and you can check them. But I'll quickly go through it and fill it out. Okay, so I'll go through with my blue here. So I actually have to look for what my very first move was. Number 1, here we go. So in this one here, it needed to be a number where a number of 4 was greater than and 1 was already used. So it's either 2 or 3, and because there are 2 3s in both these rows, I knew the number 3 must go there. Okay, so that was our first move. The second move I did, because 3 has to be greater than that, and the number 1's already down here, I must have the number 2 here. And with that being said, my third move would be the 5 over here, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. The fourth move I made, let's quickly take a look. Where's number 4? There we go. The fourth move I made, 3 had to be greater than the number. We already had a 1 in that column, so we know it must be 2. And then the fifth one was an interesting one. What I did is I saw 2 greater than signs, which gave me the option, and I'll kind of write both of them, that this could be 6, 5, or it could be 5, 4, right? But I knew this couldn't actually be 6, 5 because there was already a 5 in this row, which meant this number had to be 4. Okay, because I couldn't put 6 here because there is no number that could have been greater than 6. That was my logic behind that one there. So change the blue. So in other words, this was my fifth move. Now the only thing is this could also be the number 5 or it could be number 6. So I couldn't quite fill that out yet. Okay, so that was my fifth move. My sixth move is down here. 4 had to be greater than that number. Okay, and in order for the only numbers that are left are 3. Which is already being used, or 2 and 1. Well, since 1 was already used here, oh, sorry, maybe it was my 3s. 4, 2. Oh, how did I deduce that one? Oh, sorry, it was the 2s. 2s was already used in this row, in this row, in this row, and I knew 3 was used in this row. Oh, I think I flipped that one. Technically, that could have been the number 1 also. Let's wait to see. Oh, because I had a 3 in this row. No, oh no, that could have been a... I'm not sure how I fluked that one out. But anyways, so I got lucky there, which then told me that this would be my number 1 because 1 was used in this row and this row. I'm interested to how I got away with that. Anywho. 1 being my 7th move, and then from there my 8th move, this was a 1, this being the number 1 because 1 was used in this row, this row, this row, and I needed a number. I knew that this was greater than 4, so this had to be either 5 or 6, and this was greater than 4, so it had to be 5 or 6, so I was really only left with one option, number 1 here. From there, my 9th move, and once you start getting through it, it gets a little faster. My 9th move was here. Essentially what I was looking at is a number 4. I figured out this must be the number 4. How did I deduce that this must be 4? This needed to be a number greater than, less than. What did I do to find out? 4 was used in this column, this column, this column, this column, and this column. That's how I figured out that one. So 4 was used in all of those rows, so I knew this must be the number 4. And since there was already a 5 in this row and I needed a number greater than 4, that left only 6, which then gave me, I'm missing 2 in this column, so that number must be 2. 4 has to be greater than this number, and that number has to be greater than 2, so it's obviously 3. That was my 12th move. From there, I need a number greater than 3, and 4 and 6 are already being used, which means 5 is the only one left in that row. And then I'm missing only the number 2 in this row, so I filled in 2 as my 14th move. This row, how did I figure out? This number had to be greater than 4 with left is at 5. So it meant this must be the number 1, this must be the number 5. Then I'm left with 6 because 6 is the only one left in that row there. This number has to be greater than 3, and only 5 is left, so I filled in a 5. Had to be greater than 4, so only 6 was left. Down here, I need a number greater than 3, and in this whole column, I'm missing the number 5. 20th. Where's my 21st? Since 5 was in this column, the only number that could be greater than 4 is 6. What's left, this says 5. What's left, this was only being 6, and this being the number 1. I'll have to go over again, and maybe you can look through yourself. I kind of fluked the number 2. I'm trying to think of that process. But essentially, that was the idea of how I got through this, and all these answers check out. Okay, I'll have another riddle for you.